I hate to break it to you, but there is a good chance that something you are doing right now is increasing your odds, likelihood, and probability of checking in with the Grim Reaper a little sooner than you'd prefer. And no, I can't see exactly what you're doing right now. That feature on the tube of you hasn't been released yet, but I do know that there's a 50-50 chance that you're doing it. And we're going to talk about why it's a good idea to stop, or at least do a lot less. Let's go. Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another week of How to Health. My name is Kevin. I run liftingbalance.com, where we take aim at all things health and longevity and do it in an odd, weird, interesting, and highly sarcastic way. Today, we are looking into the nefarious effects of everybody's favorite 21st century pastime, sitting. Just like I'm doing right now. For extended periods of time without meaningful movement. That is, aka the opposite of badonkadonking, and how this ever-growing norm is one of the root causes for the underlying cellular dysfunction which shows itself as modern-day chronic disease, or those conditions which not only shorten your lifespan but dramatically deteriorate your health span, or those years of life you're truly healthy, doing everything that you wish and hope without any limitations, officially making a sedentary lifestyle a total longevity buzzkill. So we're going to start by walking through, pun intended, why intentionally and methodically moving our badonkadonk may be one of the most powerful disease prevention tools that we have. Then review some new hot off the scientific streets research highlighting how sitting increases our odds of losing our mind, literally. And finish up, as always, with tactical ways to incorporate more badonkadonking into your day. And I'll leave the definition of what exactly badonkadonking is up to you. It's more fun that way. So let's begin our endeavors, and there's no better place to do it than with why we should get off our asses. And the reasons are really quite simple. Moving vast distances at a sustainable pace is one of our superpowers, programmed in our biology through millions of years of evolution. Let me explain. It's estimated that starting around 25 million years ago, crawling primates slowly evolved into our crouching ape ancestors, and finally to the upright walking us a few minuscule 100,000 years ago. And it's often overlooked how this shift not only set the stage for enhanced survival, but innovation. How, you ask? Well, the combination of an upright bodily structure, full body cooling mechanisms, and flexible energy metabolism unlocked our ability to travel great distances over the course of days to years, becoming masters of hunting and gathering, and eventually establishing settled societies which allowed our minds to embark on the journey of solving new problems, which, fast forward to present day, have now conveniently laid the foundation for AI to take over the world. All this was very much carried on the coattails of moving, and doing a lot of it, as it's estimated that our ancestors would take upwards of 17,000 steps per day, equating to about 8 daily miles. Because back then, the equation was simple. If you couldn't move and do it for the majority of the waking day, you couldn't live. And when we tap into the technology of today and take a look under the biological covers, all of this begins to make more sense, uncovering that we have been genetically and metabolically built for long bouts of movement, with our biological self being evolutionary adapted to respond best to moderate amounts of high intensity work and high amounts of low intensity work, with modern science doing nothing but reiterating the fact that it's important, displaying with clarity that more movement is associated with improvements in cardiovascular function, glycemic control, joint health, immune function, digestion, mood, cognition, weight control, and the fan favorite fat burn. So, as with all evolutionary precise mechanisms, what do we modern humans do with this innate bio-boosting gift? We take an average of 4,000 to 8,000 steps a day, substantially lower than we once did. And it's this movement downtrend, in combination with all the other suboptimal lifestyle habits that modern society has standardized on, which has placed the average intelligent walking ape on the trajectory of morbidity, or the state of being diseased. A state of being somewhat disabled and debilitated from doing what they love for a large percentage of their life, which is officially not cool for longevity school. For example, as it pertains to everybody's favorite 5-pound mushy membrane, we know through a significant amount of research to date that every time we do some badonkadonking, we change the biochemistry of our brain. Skeletal muscle secretes bioactive compounds which release a flurry of full-body anti-inflammatory activity. Joining this flurry are feel-good hormones and neurotransmitters which relieve pain, elevate mood, and boost energy. But it doesn't even stop there. Additional brain chemicals called neurotrophic factors are upregulated. These act as fertilizer for neurons and increase something called neuroplasticity, priming the brain for learning and advanced cognition by creating new and strengthening existing neuronal connections. And while doing all this, exercise happens to be one of the most potent stimuli to upregulate our in-house cleanup processes, specifically our cellular recycling programs autophagy and mitophagy, which recycle the weak, damaged portions of the cell and mitigate the chances for mutations and damage. And to bring this full circle, it also promotes the genesis of new healthy mitochondria, making our cellular self more energy abundant and efficient. So yeah, kinda does a lot. Much more than just helping you look cool naked. Although, that could be a benefit. Depends on who you are. But no need to take my word for it. Let's look at some new data on how sitting down too much can bring down the cognitive vibes. Researchers out of University of Southern California sought to see how the act of being sedentary affected older adults' risk for the neuron deteriorating diseases of dementia. To do this, they used data from the UK Biobank, focusing on a subsample size of 50,000 adults over the age of 60 who did not have a diagnosis of dementia at the start of the study. Here they analyzed information from a full week of activity tracking via a wearable activity tracking device, as well as self-reported activity over a 6-year follow-up period. They then applied machine learning algorithms to analyze and classify participants' behaviors based on different intensities of physical activity, adjusting for a wide range of potential confounding factors, including age, sex, education, socioeconomic status, health conditions, and medications along the way. So, what'd they find? All in all, they observed that the overall risk of dementia steadily increased with sedentary behavior, with a significant increase in individuals who spent over 10 hours a day sedentary. Who would have thunk? And guess how much sedentary behavior the average American clocks in each day? About 9.5 hours. Yeah, a little too close for comfort, if you ask me. So let's explore some ways to flip that script back towards badonkadonking. It is safe to assume that most of us probably sit within 2 standard deviations of the ultra-sedentary mean. And if that mean is 9.5 hours a day, that assumes that nearly 50% of the westernized population is checking the box for 10 plus hours of daily inactivity. Hell, I just checked my own inactivity over the course of the last 2 years and found out my average is around 8 hours a day. Inactivity is pretty damn sneaky, huh? Thus, I think it's safe to say we could all benefit from a little more daily movement, especially since, when done responsibly, I feel like we just entered a drinking commercial, it comes with almost no downside and only tremendous upside. So if you're part of the majority and fit into this borderline dangerous inactivity zone, let's talk about where you can begin to get your move back on. And the best place, in my opinion, is the often forgot and overlooked place, your baseline. Because of course you want some objective data to measure that mouth-watering progress, right? So if you have a Fitbit, smartwatch, activity ring, or band, it's likely you've already been tracking your activity. So take a look. Note you're trailing 3, 6, 12 months, and use that moving forward as your objective tracker. Now, let's get tactical, starting with the morning. Because what better thing is there to do than move after 8 solid hours of not moving at all? With exception to those overachievers who sleepwalk, of course. Not only does morning movement jumpstart your biology, align your body clock, ramp up your detoxification systems, and elevate your mood, all of which we discuss here, it puts you in a straight up better biological position to have a damn day, and a harder biochemical and physiological position to have a stressful one. So habit stacking 5 to 10 minutes of light movement, ideally outside, is a great way to start your day. This could be stretching, walking, mobility, yoga, whatever. Any morning movement is great movement. And when I say habit stacking, I'm referring to a technique which entails stacking a new desired habit, like walking, before or alongside something you already do every day, like drinking coffee, letting the dog out, or jamming the T-Swift as you make breakfast. Building on top of an already established habit, thus making it easier to execute. And speaking of breakfast, another great strategy is adding a 5 to 10 minute bout of light movement following each big meal, because it's not only good and beneficial for all the reasons we just discussed, but also a great way to improve digestion, battle bloating, stabilize glucose levels, and stave off that post-meal energy crash. Oh, and might I add, a hack to get your muscle to better utilize the protein that you consume, as we break down here. So just like that, we have another 20 to 40 minutes of movement added to your day. But why stop there? One of my favorite guidelines that I've implemented over the last 10 years is my steps rule. And it's super simple. If I see steps, I take them. Now, this one may take a little time to solidify, but when it does, you'll never catch yourself on a escalator, elevator, or just walking Vader again. You know those walking Vaders at the airport. And taking the stairs is a sneaky catch-all strength, cardiovascular, and stability activity. And I get it. This rule may be a little more relevant if you live in a metropolitan area, but it can easily be deployed in the office, home, or neighborhood. So go find some steps and scale them like Ferdinand Magellan. Remember, our ancestors had to climb. Steps were a luxury. Another favorite of mine is taking at least one meeting a day walking. And this doesn't just have to apply to work. We all spend way too much time on our phones, so might as well take one of our phone activities for a walk. Whether it be a conference call, YouTube vid, talk of Tik, gram of Insta, podcast, whatever. Remember, you prime your brain for learning when you move, so you'll retain more of the content that you're watching, which, as we know, may or may not be a good thing. Bringing your movement outside only adds to the biological benefits, as nature is proving to be one of the most powerful mood and cognitive boosters there is. Finally, the more standard approach of sustained exercise via a planned workout is also, as we know from all our other deep dives, super beneficial. Getting your heart rate into the 60 to 80% working range and sustaining it for a good 20 to 40 minutes drive biological shifts which not only make you feel effing awesome, but keep you younger and more efficient at the cellular and metabolic level. So I challenge you to start doing what you were biologically built to do and get moving a little more. It doesn't need to be anything crazy, and ideally should be implemented in a slow and sustainable manner, ensuring that it gets ingrained as a habit for the long run. So much so that it's not a habit anymore. It's the way you live your life. An auto habit, so to say, aka something that you do every day because it's been reinforced as something that improves your day, and thus your life. Kind of like a longevity cheat code. And when in doubt, remember that you, the animal that you are, have been evolutionary programmed to be at your biological best when movement is your norm. And the most primal OG movement for us Homo sapiens sapiens is simply walking. So take the tube of you for an adventure already. Make the intentional decision to own it, because no one else can do it for you. That is, until Elon develops a full cyborg suit. Hopefully they have a bathroom built on it. What? When you prioritize hydration, you always gotta go.